Hello, happy Friday! Happy Friday, Beast. Now, how's it going? Welcome back to another Arkham Horror live stream. Today, we are continuing on in the Scarlet Keys campaign. I honestly, I was thinking about this, and I have no idea when this thing is going to end or how long this is going to take. That's kind of exciting to me. I assume that we will get pointed in a certain direction at some point on, we accidentally read that one excerpt that was like, this will end the campaign. No idea when we're getting there, but I was like, when do we need to start thinking about end game? And we're at 5, and so I think we are, or this is game 5. So I think this is right around halfway, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? But I'm just happy to be here. So we have Jim and Monterey Jack taking on the Scarlet Keys campaign. We had a lot of experience last time. We ended up with five experience, which is pretty significant from what we've seen in this campaign so far. So I think previously we've been sitting at 3 or so ish after each scenario, and so it was cool to have that influx of just power. And so what we did with that is Jim Culver, we're tapped out on Power Word. We have the 2 customizable cards that we're running with Jim. We are tapped out on Power Word, but we did upgrade Living Ink a little bit. We got 2 check marks on Eldritch Ink, which allowed us to circle another skill. We circled our feet skill. That's a couple of things there. We have the shifting ink, so we have the option to play Living Ink under Monterey Jack's control, and at that point we can up his feet, and so that's kind of the thought around that. And then we upgraded into a level 3 shriveling. So we had a level 1, we upgraded to a level 3, just does a little bit more damage here. And actually, I don't think it does any more damage, but it hits a little bit harder, and it also is that stepping stone into that level 5 that we're really looking for, because Jim is doing a lot of the heavy lifting on the combat side of things. Jim's floating a resource now. And then over here on Jack's side, yeah, we took out 2 copies of Think on Your Feet. This is immediately move to a connecting location when an enemy would be spawned at your location. I never used this. Jack actually, turns out, can handle himself, and so the thinking on our feet didn't really do as much as I was hoping for, and we upgraded into a level 2 deduction. So this is a skill card that is two book icons, and it says if this skill is successful while discovering a location, you get 1 extra clue, or if it succeeds by 2 or more, you get 2 extra clues. So deduction is nice here and helps us with our efficiency a little bit. Hey, Maddie, how's it going? Last time on Arkham Horror. Let's go. So we got this, and then we went ahead and upgraded into a level 4 fingerprint kit. So big purchase over here, because we were floating a resource for Jack, and so that 5 turned into a 6. We were able to spend it all. Fingerprint kit is 3 supplies. Exhaust fingerprints kit, spend a supply, you get +2 book, and if you succeed, discover 2 additional clues. So it's just a highly efficient card, where, I mean, it's expensive. Jack has the resources to get there. It's a 5 cost. But with Jack's ability, Jack's kit, we're hitting that 5 pretty frequently, and that's going to be pretty easy for us to do. And then it's a action for 3 clues, and I'm hoping that helps a lot. Now, Jack's efficiency and the ability to move around with all of his shortcuts and all of his stuff gives him the actions needed to investigate multiple times. The problem is he's sitting at a 4 book. Once we had Dr. Christopher out there, he's at a 5 book, and a lot of the shroud values in this campaign have been very, very high. So we don't have as many skill cards as I probably should have built into the deck initially. And so while I could hit a single investigate of a 5 shroud with a skill card, it makes it a little bit hard to justify, because maybe I need to get 3 clues from there. Now I'm testing my mediocre book skill to a high shroud 3 times in a row, whereas this just gives me that efficiency. I can blow all of my skill cards on one test with the fingerprint kit, allowing me to ideally pass that test and then not worry about it after that. So that's kind of the idea for Jack's deck, and then Jim is still just hanging out doing Jim's things. We did purchase that down the rabbit hole upgrade at deck creation, so it costs us a little bit more to add new cards into our deck, but it does cost us less to upgrade the first couple of cards. So Jim's deck, from just like a balance standpoint, is kind of staying the same, just because I don't really want to mess with it too much. Arkham Horror, last time we spent, and sorry if I'm going a little fast, I just realized that last time, honestly, if you're struggling with keeping your book high, I would have suggested upgraded mag glass. I do have higher education now too. That's a permanent. The mag glass, I was thinking about upgrading flashlight. I don't think I have the original magnifying glass. And so I could get that, go like 2 mag glasses. I was like, flashlight and the trusty bullwhip are typically my hand slots. And so if I would go with the mag light, it would probably be without the flashlight. I would sub out flashlight because I mean the bullwhip is just so incredibly powerful. So like you would oh, fingerprint kit is also a hand slot. I don't think I realized that. So fingerprint kit and bullwhip are going to be, you know, the slots. They're fast and cheap. Yeah. That is very true. That is very true. Jack historically has not struggled with cheap. He can pay for stuff. We've embezzled. That would have been a fun stat to be keeping. I think we've embezzled maybe like close to 30 money. Hey, DZ, good luck on today's adventures. Thank you so very much. I'm excited. But yeah, as I was saying, we did. It took us like almost an hour last week to get into the gameplay, and so I'm gonna try and just go a little bit quicker. And what I think we are going to do is, instead of trying to interpret the initial prologue where it kind of gave us these hints of where I should be going, instead of doing that, I think we're just gonna pick a place and stop everywhere along the way. We're halfway through like the time allocated on like the little chart. And so at this point, I have no idea if that information is still even good. So we were in Havana, and we are kind of, we have a couple of options. We know that at some point, I think we need to be hanging around maybe North America, because we have that key, or we learn the passphrase. And so at some point we do need to come back and open that passphrase. I do want to stay in the Scarlet Keys campaign. I don't necessarily want to go do one of the side quests. One, I don't actually know which ones those are. But I'm thinking about going up here to, is it Ybor City? So 52U, that's just right there next to us. We will go ahead and increase our time. And one of the things that I need to be doing is whenever we increase time, to come check time passed. And so we just hit 15, which actually I think this is what we misread last week. So whenever we reach a specific point on the calendar, we have to go read here. So yeah, this is the one we read last time. Okay, so status report beta. You receive a coded message from Commissioner Taylor herself. Agents, not so long ago, a massive explosion occurred near the Pokemonania Tuscana River in Siberia. It's classified as an impact event, but that is just a cover story. Our intel now indicates coterie involvement. I have reason to believe that this may be the site of one of their sanctums, perhaps even their primary safe house. You may have clearance to investigate the site, but be prepared for anything. So we add one in our cultist token to the bag, which I think we did and removed last time. So we're going to add a cultist token to the chaos bag. In central agent section of your campaign log, find so yeah, that's on screen right here. And then that is now open. It's 59Z. You're allowed to travel to there, but it will end the campaign. So it says to be wary of how much time has passed. Did I? Oh. So I don't want to do that. I don't think I'm ready to end the campaign. I still have to figure out what's going on in the coterie. So we are at Ybor City, which is a 52U. Watch this just be straight up a encounter. Okay, it's not. Okay. The Safe House 1. It's a good thing the locals here are fairly welcoming and don't seem to mind you asking directions. Isn't your... Oh, is it? Is it? That would make sense. Okay, so let's actually go over to Bermuda. Let's go one more time. Thank you. For some reason I thought that was Bermuda, but there's been a lot going on. So let's go over to Bermuda. 20E. Okay. Okay. So 20E. The great work. The brilliant sandy beaches and azure water dazzle your senses as you arrive in Bermuda proper. Rows of brightly painted homes add to the eye-popping landscape as you travel from one corner of Bermuda Island to the other, asking locals for any possible leads on the coterie activity. If Twy My Sea has fled to Bermuda, we have not, so otherwise skip to Great Work 5. You are almost relieved your questioning goes nowhere. The lack of coterie activity in Bermuda gives you an unlikely chance to rest and recuperate. For a moment, you only need to concern yourself with the peaceful stillness of the island. With several days remaining until your next departure, you follow the recommendation of the concierge at your hotel and take time to explore the crystal caves up to the northern end of the island. Your guide is missing an arm. They illuminate dancing patterns in the darkness with their flashlight as they tell you how the caves were found. You ask them how they lost their arm. I served in the Great War, they tell you. Sometimes peace comes at a great cost. Each investigator may begin the next scenario with one additional card in their opening hand. That's cool. You may return to Bermuda again during this campaign, but only after playing another scenario. You can't just like go, I'm starting with 30 cards in my hand. I'm just going to go to these caves indefinitely. Okay. Okay, so that was times 16. And our okay, times 17 we read the size symbol. So I'm guessing we kind of want to stay around Ybor. Do we go up to Anchorage? 1, 2. See what's going on up in Anchorage? Or down to Rio? Because Anchorage is 1, 2, 3 back to Ybor. If we go 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, so let's go down to Rio de Janeiro. And then we can hop over to Buenos Aires if we want to. So Bermuda down to San Juan. It's another time. That's going to be 17, which will have us read Psy. And then 18 will unlock. Oh, what am I doing? Over here. Okay, so Psy. As you return to your hotel, the concierge waves you down and hands you a telegram. Trail picked up hot on her heels. Stop meet in Hong Kong may require aid. Stop parasol is key stop. This must be from Inspector Flint. Perhaps you should travel to Hong Kong and learn more if you can spare the time. In the Southeast Asia section of your campaign log, find Hong Kong and its spot right 50S. You are now allowed to travel to this location whenever you embark. Okay. So that's interesting. Huh. Okay, so we could go to Hong Kong. Let's go down to Rio. Let's just go to 18 and go to Rio. And then that is going to have us read Omega. As you head to your hotel room, man, people are following our hotel stuff. You head to your hotel room, you spot a red envelope slip under your door. Inside is a simple message. My people in Ybor City know about the new passphrase and it's time and know you're coming. Drop by when you get the chance. It's signed Desai. Okay, so we are in Rio. Let's go ahead and do Rio, and then we'll make ourselves back up to Ybor, and then maybe over to Hong Kong. And also, we do have this like special ticket, the expedited ticket. Hong Kong, my hometown. Oh, nice. I didn't know that. That's cool. Um, so we'll have to go and see Maddie's hometown. So the expedited ticket. Once we're kind of stuck here in Ybor, because we are getting to a fairly high time, we may want to fly over here to Hong Kong, figure all that good stuff out, maybe parade around over in this area of the world, and then knowing that we need to end our campaign up here in the northern Siberia. So let's read Rio. That's 44. Remind me, how much time do you have? So the thing ends at 35 and has a ominous omega sign on 35. So less than 35 would be my guess. I don't know what happens when we hit here, but I don't want to know. We did just read beta, which opened up this scenario for us, and it did tell us when during the reading of that it will end the campaign if we go do that scenario. So we have anywhere from now until 35. But I do want to try and build a little bit more before we go die in the final scenario. Okay, we're looking for 44. The theory of annihilation. Okay. Honestly, all these interludes remind me of a choose your own adventure. Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? The theory of annihilation. As your ship puts into port at Rio de Janeiro, you see a massive hollow statue under construction at the Corcovado Museum overlooking the city. The statue is vaguely humanoid, its arms spread wide and welcoming. Or is it a warning? Would that be the big Jesus statue is in Rio de Janeiro? When was that made? I wonder if that's what it is. 1931. Yeah. Oh, that's fun. So the statue of Christ the Redeemer was completed in 1931, and so this is, I think, at the beginning of the 30s, right? That's fun. Check the campaign log. If the cell met Dr. Arwen in less than 25 time has passed, proceed to the theory of annihilation 2. Let's check our campaign log. We have not met Dr. So skip to theory of annihilation 4. I'm so interested how a replay of this campaign is going to go, right? You can go a completely different direction and see completely different outcomes in all of these choose your own adventure paths. So after some searching, you find Dr. Arwen in the Belmont Capitanua seated at a table covered in sketches and academic clutter. After introducing yourself, you ask about her research. Oh, I see. You are here to mock me, she says, closing a worn survey journal. You tell her you aren't, and after some coaxing, she opens up to you. I'm actually glad you missed my lecture, she said. It was an utter disaster. I was laughed out of the auditorium when I tried to present. Someone called me a cryptozoologist. You tell her there are worse insults. That may be. She adjusts her large round spectacles, but for my career, it is a death knell. She turns to a beautifully detailed sketch of a bird roosting in a palm tree. I present what I'm calling the theory of annihilation, the world devouring itself. Not just itself, but the memory of itself, the fact of its very existence. She takes a sip of strong dark coffee. Several years ago, I surveyed the Amazon with a half-dozen well-known academics. We observed the distinct species of the macaw and named each after a stone: turquoise, amethyst, obsidian, the like. But now she turns to several empty pages. There's no trace or record of any of them. My colleague tells me I made up the turquoise macaw and the others. There's no trace of them in the habitat either, and the sketches have disappeared as well. You assure Dr. Arwan that she is not mad and shares what little you can about the disappearance. Thank you, she says. I'm glad we met. I was beginning to think it was all in my head. She gives you her business card with an address of a university in Australia written on the back. I will be back in Perth to continue my survey and the next lecture. Perhaps I will see you there. We met Dr. Arwen. Need to write all these down while we're here. Each investigator earns one experience as they gain insight into the strange happenings of the world. Let's go. We did it. We did it. And we can embark. Okay, so let's go back up to here to Ybor City. So 1, 2. Oop, wrong one. Let's check and see if we needed to read anything. Oh, we do. Okay. So my Greek letter. What is this Greek letter? I don't remember. Oh, it's going to tell me. Zeta. There you go. You return to your hotel after a long day of travel and investigation, only to find your room in shambles. A grim feeling sprouts in your gut. Someone has clearly turned your room upside down in search of something, and you're pretty sure you know what. You rush to the safe where you've been storing the paradimensional artifacts you aren't carrying on your person. To your horror, it is empty, apart from a single red card. Reaching out to Foundation contacts, you believe you have tracked the culprit to one of 4 likely Coterie sanctums. Perhaps if you're quick, you can recover what was stolen from you. Check the keys section of your campaign log and find each key whose bearer is an investigator. Choose one at random. Choose one at random. We'll roll dice for this one. So, Eye of the Ravens is even. Last Blossom is odd. So, Last Blossom. Gather each enemy in the red coterie encounter set whose name matches those who you haven't seen the last of, and choose one at random. This is the identity of the character who stole your key. That's too bad. That really hurts because that one was really good, especially because we had taken so much trauma. This is just a way to heal that at the very beginning. So that's too bad. So, campaign log. We haven't seen the last of Red Glove Man, Amarath. So, even is Red Glove Man. Odd is even. Red Glove Man has the Last Blossom. Okay. Update the key section so that the bearer of the keys was stolen is the random enemy. In Central Asia, Americas, and North Atlantic sessions, find Cabal, Queen, San Juan, and Reykjavik. Write 14C. You're not allowed to embark and travel to these locations whenever you embark. Oh, San Juan's right there. Well, this went from like not having a idea of a direction to go at all and just kind of fumbling my way throughout the world to like, oh, I need to be in like 7 places at once now. So that's interesting. Cool. That's too bad that we lost the Red Blossom. They just take stuff? Apparently. Apparently. Okay, we're in Ybor City. Let's just go ahead and do that one. 52U. This is this is not a scenario either. Okay. The safe house one. It's a good thing the locals here are fairly welcoming and don't seem to mind you asking directions because you abandoned your cigar factory doesn't exactly narrow things down. The bustling city district near Tampa is home to many such factories built and run by thousands of immigrants from all over. If you had to check each and every factory, you'd be stuck here all week. Luckily, you have led just north of the bay, a quiet, rundown building with a adjoining boarded up warehouse. If you didn't know the truth, you'd think it was nothing more than an out-of-date factory from the 1880s. Interesting. You won't have enough time to search every plot line all the way through. That okay. Yeah, true. Uh, but I want to. I want to search every plot line. But you've learned anything from your travels to never trust the evidence of your eyes. You cautiously approach the main entrance and attempt to open it. As you suspected, it does not budge. If this is truly a coterie sanctum, it'll be harder than that to get inside. There is no easy way through the third story window, so you circle around the side of the warehouse, spotting a large metal door likely used for your loading goods or unloading supplies. As there's no handle or lever, you decide to knock. A moment later, a gruff voice responds to the phrase, passphrase. Just got to run the campaign back as soon as you finish. Exactly, right? Have to follow different plot lines. It is a really cool and interesting like way to do the campaign. I'm enjoying it. I think it's cool. If you know the passphrase, and the current time is at or after theta, or I need to know my Greek letters better. No. Theta. Safe House 2. You lean in and utter the words that Desai taught you, Blackbeard Solitaire. The door slides open. On the other side, a muscular man with a thick mustache gives you a toothy grin. The hand hovering just over the handle of a revolver holstered at his side gives you pause, but after a moment he steps aside to let you in. Boss said you might be stopping by, the doorman said. He said to let you look around and take whatever you need. That's always a good thing. Um, you step inside and eye the man carefully. Last thing you need is a bullet in the back just as soon as you begin your search. That would be a sad ending to the campaign. Just like, you die. You're done. Okay. As if sensing your concern, he slowly unholsters his gun and empties the cylinder. Look, friend, I know what you did for Desai. Any friend of his is a friend of mine, he states, greeting your suspicious gaze head on. Whatever you're looking for, it's yours. It doesn't take too long for you to find the key Desai had stashed here. Mounted on a far wall of the warehouse, over a midst of trove of supplies and ammunition, an alien sheen reflects off a warped view of your startled countenance. It's a double-edged blade of considerable. Oh, that's pretty sweet. Of considerable length, although it has no handle or grip, which would to wield it. That's less sweet. It might be a weapon, but it's no mortal one. That is for sure. That old thing, the gruff man asks as you delicately remove it from the mount. Just a weird hunk of metal, that is. Though Desai kept it here for kicks, creeps the hell out of me. As you hold the blade over both of your hands, a gentle pulse of energy quivers through its length. Not a decoration, then. This is the real deal. You also sift through some of Desai's records and intel while you are here. Wow. not much that you don't already know, but it looks like he's been keeping tabs on a few of his cohorts. There are more than a few clandestine photographs of a woman carrying a red parasol over her shoulder. In the clearest of these, the woman is giving the camera a knowing smirk. She knew Desai was onto her. On the back in slopping handwriting in black ink, it reads, "You're in too deep this time, Sue." You browse a bit more, you aren't going to find much else here. Desai operation is quite a bit different than the coteries stated goals, it seems. Perhaps there is more than the Foundation believes, or it's just another front. Doesn't matter, you have what you came for. Choose investigator to be the bearer of the mirroring blade and update the campaign log. A mirroring blade. Deal 2 damage to an enemy at your location, or 1 damage to all enemies at your location. Flip the key to its unstable side. Each investigator takes 1 direct damage. And then if an investigator flipped this key, we're going to give this to Jack, just because he just got his lose a key, gain a key. Exactly. Jack deserves this one now. He lost his keys, so he gets it. Each investigator earns 2 experiences. They gain insight. Oh my goodness. Let's go. And 1 time. So we go up and we got 3 experience now. Let's go. Okay, so is this considered a scenario of the campaign? Honestly, I love to play this campaign as Roland Banks. He'd be a secret agent man. Yeah, and then all those things that were like, if you have this trait, I think Roland had one of the traits. Read this paragraph, so you get a little bit more insight into it. Like, is this considered a scenario? I assume no, because if it was, I could like, I guess like, can I spend experience right now or no? Guess I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think you're free to spend XP, but you can't use the down there. That makes sense. Like it's not a. That's not. Yeah, I mean, just from like a balance perspective, that sounds right. Um, because I'm what I'm thinking about doing is since I have three, I may upgrade this other copy of Shriveling. Might as well take advantage of all the good cards you can get, right? So I think I'm gonna upgrade this other copy of Shriveling to the level 3, and then it's one experience to upgrade both of them to level 5, or two experience total, one experience each. Um, and that's just more consistency rather than upgrading like Living Ink to like a probably Vibrancy and just not give it to Jack. I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go upgrade this Shriveling to level 3. Nope, not the 5, unfortunately. Just the 3. And then, oops. I do not like these sleeves. These are the Mayday sleeves. I'm not a fan of them. Now, Jack also has 3. Jack also has 3. And so I'm wondering, do we want to let's go ahead and grab another deduction. I think having another deduction is probably going to be a good call. And then float one. And take a flashlight for a deduction. Just so we have it. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. We're going to swap out a flashlight for deduction. And I put that over in my closet. Okay. Let me note that somewhere because I will forget it. So, gem upgraded. Cool. Then that means I can just update uh the campaign log or my deck list. Okay. Nope. So we are at 21. We read another one at 24. I'm thinking, okay, so we have to make a decision here. The thing about upgraded deduction and fingerprint kit is that two players sometimes it's hard to find locations with enough clues on them to take their full advantage. Uh, Good point. I'm wondering. Yeah, I'm thinking I probably don't use them at the same time. Um, it's more like a like if I'm using fingerprint kit, I think I'm going with like the perception, and then deduction is just a way to do like a lower shroud situation. But with Jack doing most of the clue gathering, but that is a good point. Hopefully the scenario cooperates. That's very true. That's very, very true. All I know is that we have been sitting with a significant number. Upgraded mag glass, not at the same time, but there's a lot of locations only have one per investigator. Interesting. Yeah, that's true. Um, do an upgraded mag glass over the flashlight. Get +1 book while investigating. I'm down. I'm The other thing that we were looking at one point was the um, upgraded flashlight. Mag works with keeping a full. Oh, that's true. Yeah, I I see. Um, I see that you can do that, but I just never think about pulling this back to my hand. I was like, why would I ever want to do that? Higher education is a reason to do that. Okay, cool. We got a lot of new toys now, so that's kind of fun. And Jack has this mirroring blade too. He's got a new. Jack came out of that warehouse with new ways to deduce things, a new magnifying glass, and this like ethereal blade. Since you're worrying about passing investigation checks from high shroud locations, you want a passive boost, not worry about running out of supplies of flash. Yeah, cool. I like it. I like it. I like it. Let's go. Okay. Should we go to San Juan or should we go over to Hong Kong? Like, do we want to try and get this last blossom back? I'm thinking we probably do. San Juan is the closest one. If we go to San Juan, that's one time right now, and then we can fly over to Hong Kong afterwards. But that last blossom, I assume that's kind of what the side quest is doing, is getting it back. Is just so good because on turn one it can heal 4 total damage slash trauma or mental damage, and it just seems really solid. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so San Juan, where are we going? 14C. Okay, this I don't think this is a scenario either. We'll find a scenario at some point. Just maybe a little bit. Determine if this is the site of your missing keys by performing the following steps. Gather the enemy's concealed mini card, it doesn't matter which one, and 3 decoys. If wrong leads is recorded in your campaign log, gather 1 fewer decoy as each tally mark recorded next to it. Flip the gathered concealed cards face down and shuffle them. Choose one at random. If it's a decoy, proceed to level 1. If it's the enemy, proceed to level 2. Okay, so we'll re-roll a 5 or 6. 1. It's a decoy. You search every known coterie, sanctum, and safe house in the region, looking for high and low for the villain who stole your precious cargo, but find nothing. Either they're not here or they're well hidden, that searching anymore thoroughly would be a waste of time. In your campaign log, record wrong leads, and next to this, record 1 tally mark. You may embark. Okay. Oh, geez. That's going to be a time sink. Oh, is that worth it? Like going up to Reykjavik? Spending 2 time to go up to Reykjavik puts us at 23. Hong Kong. We're looking at the end of this campaign a lot sooner than I was expecting. So, like, I guess like those who have played through it, how many scenarios do you play through in this campaign? Because I was kind of expecting like 8 to 9, and it looks like it may be 6. Which is fine. I'm just kind of curious. If we go to Reykjavik, that's 1, 2. I'm gonna fly to Hong Kong. Puts us at 24. And then we have a 33% chance effectively to get Reykjavik. Let's at least go to Reykjavik. We got 1, 2. We're up to 23. Reykjavik. We're going to read the same thing. On a blind run, when you have no idea how to get around the map, it's pretty normal to only get 5 or 6. I mean, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Like I was not expecting necessarily 8, especially with something that is so like open as this. So that I'm fine with that. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ho! We got him. So you finally narrow down your query and find the safe house. Before rushing in, you lay low and wait for the right time to strike. With the element of surprise on your side, you tailor your approach for your foe. Mark 1 time in your campaign log. 24. Read only the following section that pertains to your situation. The Red Glove Man stole the key. So with a foe as enigmatic and potentially dangerous as the Red Glove Man, perhaps it's best to avoid the confrontation altogether. Bummer. You wait until you spot him leaving the sanctum, and then start picking the lock of the same entrance. Only to your surprise, he has left it unlocked. You can almost imagine his blank stare from the shadows, mocking your every move. Does he know you're here? Why steal from you only to hand the stolen objects back to you on a silver platter? In the end, you decide it's best to not look a gift horse in its mouth. After all, you're not about to waste the opportunity. You grab the stolen relic and make your escape, wondering all the while what the true motivation of the mysterious man. Under the keys section of your campaign log, such that the keys were stolen, returned to their original bearers. Each investigator earns 1 experience plus 1 experience for each tally mark. Oh, okay, cool. So that's 2 more experience. I probably should have just not spent that experience. I probably should have hung out and waited. Cross off 14C on each remaining locations. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I probably should not have spent that experience. We're gonna hang on to it just in case we get some more. But let's fly to Hong Kong. Let's fly to Hong Kong. So we will exile our key, our ticket. We mark 1 time. Actually, hold up. Before we do that, let me make sure. 24, we were supposed to read something. Okay, so at 24, we read Gamma. The reports continue. Now it's not just missing people, but people returning, having changed. Buildings and objects too, replicated, but in a different off, like they have been completely dismantled and then reassembled. But why? Add 1 cultist token to the chaos bag. We have so many symbols in that bag. It's insane. Each investigator must add 1 copy of the Paradimensional Understanding Weakness into their deck. Uh-oh. Immediately shift an unstable key you control. Flip each stable key to its unstable side. That's Not good. Huh. I need. I'm gonna use it down the rabbit hole. I was like, I need. I don't know where I put the sleeves for the Mayday sleeves. Okay. So we're going to mark a time for 25 and jump to Hong Kong. Hong Kong was. So you've been adding symbol tokens all campaign long. Have you added any number tokens? No, we haven't added any number tokens. But it does make this whole living ink gains after you reveal a chaos token with a symbol. Exhaust living ink and place one charge on it. A pretty good pretty good upgrade for living ink. But no symbols. Okay. The Hong Kong one. 50S. This is not an encounter either. Okay. Actually hold up. Yep, no, it's not. Check the campaign log. If the cell aided Flint's investigation, I believe that is true. No, Flint is working solo. And 10 or fewer time has passed, and 11 or more time has passed since Psy. Since Psy. When is Psy? There's so much flipping back and forth. Psy is 17, so 11 has not passed. So go to Blood, Sweat, and T2. You meet Agent Flint at the Hong Kong Zoological and Botanical Garden. He shakes your hand and leans in close. Do you have a tail? He asks. You assure him you do not. You have been careful. Oh, I didn't think about that like someone following you around. I just thought like a physical tail. I was like, what a strange question. He updates you on the case where the two of you stroll through the gardens, looking at the world like normal tourists. He explains that the lady with the red parasol is using the name Su Zhang Nine, and that she has made it an international business out of helping the British expand their empire, often using the most brutal methods. Her silver tongue and negotiating skills are apparently the thing of legend. She can convince worker unions to tolerate abysmal conditions, local governments to accept the extraction of natural resources without batting an eye, and worse. We can't be too careful, Flint warns. Obviously, Miss Sue is no one to be trifled with, but it's that parasol that's the key to her operations. If you pardon my pun, I think it actually is giving her the ability to sway minds. You can't object. The evidence is piling up. Flint's initial hunch was right. What's worse is that she already suspects were onto her. I had a coterie operative sniffing me out earlier just this week. Luckily, I managed to get the upper hand, found this safe house, and before he found mine. And the best part, he gives you a slygram. He had an itinerary on him. They're headed to the Royal Selenor Club next week. It's a social club in Kuala Lumpur for the wealthy elite. Care to join me? In your campaign log, record that Flint traveled to in the Southeast Asia section. So right 46Q, you're now allowed to travel to here. You can embark. I guess we'll go there. So that's 2 more time. 1, 2, that puts us at 27. Our next read is 35. Okay, so that's going to be 46Q. Hey, it's a scenario. We did it. If Flint traveled, he did. So proceed to intro 1. You and Flint meet in the Royal Selenor Club, a sharp-angled complex situated in the Situated on the edge of a meticulously groomed lawn, a cricket match unfolds for the club's member on the turf below, and Flint discusses the coterie interests as Susan possible aims. Hold on a moment. Flint stops mid-sip and stares into the throng of wealthy something. As you turn your head and watch the crowd, a woman with a pale complexion and jet black hair turns away from you, twirls a bright red parasol. Well, that was easy, laughs Flint. You can hear a steely edge in his voice as he stands gingerly and leaves a generous tip for the staff. Let's see what she's up to, shall we? In your campaign log, record that Flint rejoined the cell. Flint. Any investigator may choose to add the Inspector Flint story asset to their deck. It does not count towards their deck size. Cool. So Inspector Flint is an ally. He's a 2-cost ally, wild. When he exploits a decoy, exhaust Inspector Flint, cancel the exposing of that decoy, flip it face down, and either draw a card or choose a different concealed mini card at your location to expose. It's a 3/3 too. Ooh. I feel like Jim takes this because Dr. Christopher is really strong for Jack, and using the spots or the ally slots is probably better off on Jim. Granny is nice though. The actual problem with that is I need sleeves. Oh, we can use this actually. Okay. It's happening though. Proceed to setup. Whew. Okay, well, I tried, but 54 minutes in is when we're actually starting to set up the scenario. There's a lot of in-between stuff in this campaign, which I think is interesting. I would just say that that's probably like my biggest critique of the campaign is I feel like I do more reading than I do playing. It's interesting. I think it's cool. It's just a lot. So gather all the cards from the following counter sets. And so the parasol. Lamppost. Books. Gloves. Squiggly. And the corset thing. Striking Fear. Whew. So to be clear, are we nearing the end, or is there still plenty to go? I think we're nearing the end, right? So we're at 27 time, and the campaign ends at 35. So I think this is our last one before our final scenario. At this point, I mean, like, we can look at this. We can, oops, sorry. We are here, assuming that we probably add like 2 time. That's 29, 30, 31. And so we don't have any more time after this. So this is probably our second to last scenario. Which, that, I mean, like, with Down the Rabbit Hole, I feel like the scenarios experience has been fairly restricted. Or maybe not the scenarios, just like the campaigns experience has been fairly restricted. Now we are playing, 33% less games than normal, or maybe not that many, but 25% less games than normal. But like maybe it's just coming off of Edge of the Earth too, where we scored like 7 experience in one in one. Um, Can you actually just aimlessly travel around and burn time to speed your way to the end game? Yeah, I think so. Like, I mean, yeah, if you could straight up just not do anything and just globetrot around the world until you're forced into the end game. I assume that's what Omega. I assume Omega is either you're forced into the end game or you lose. You just get driven insane. Okay. Put the west station into play. Did I just miss that? What east wing and west wing into play. The club. I wonder how many more expansions they have printed for they have planned for this game. I don't know. I mean, they pulled off MJ. She's working on something new now. So they still haven't done a Cthulhu expansion, I don't think. That's the rumor on the street. Um, check the campaign log. If friend rejoin the cell, each investigator begins play at the club. That's connected. Is this just like this? Yeah. So we start at the club. What up with my peep? There they are. They may search their deck for Inspector Flynn and put him into play under their control, then shuffle their deck. For the remainder of the scenario, it does not take up an ally slot. That's pretty sweet. Okay, nice. Where's Mr. Flint? Sweet. And then we get an extra card. We have to remember that. Choose one of each Geist enemy. Uncanny Shadow, Buried Miner. Oh, choose one of each of these randomly. Set them aside out of play. Remove the other ones from the game. These cards are double-sided and have story cards on the reverse side. For best experience, do not look at the story side until you're instructed to do so. Spawn this enemy side, lady with the red parasol, side face up in the shadows. And attach the red or the Shade Reaper to her. Unstable state face up. Resolve her concealed keyword, placing her concealed mini card at each location other than the starting location. This is a shift. Each investigator loses 1 action, or if it's not their turn, loses 1 action during their next turn. Wow, that stinks. That's tough. That's rough. And then we have 19 to 26 time has passed. Place 6 resources on the Shade Reaper as charges. Okay. We have to resolve our conceal keyword. Just conceal 2. Decoy. Okay. Shuffle all these up. Place them everywhere. These are connected. These are connected. Those are connected. Sweet. Okay. This needs to be shuffled. We'll do that here in a second. We'll have to look at her forced ability. We got our agenda. This is only at 3. The city buzzes with spiritual activity. Empty halls resound with footsteps, phantom knocks, and voiceless whispers. Some deep pain in the city longs to be known. A wordless dread fills the city and pervades every moment. And then we got the lady with the red parasol. The figure holding the red parasol melts into the bustle of the city, but she is aware of your presence. You can track her to her destination, but you may better understand her aims in Kuala Lumpur. The objective is to find her before the agenda advances. When you engage her, investigators must spin the requisite number of clues as a group to advance. If they cannot, return her to the shadows. Oh, geez. We're hitting the ground running. We're going. We are going. At least we have the ability to resolve a different conceal / draw a card and all that good stuff. Okay. Let's read her force ability. When she would be defeated, instead heal all damage from her, remove all doom from play, return her to the shadows, and resolve her conceal keyword, distributing each one of those concealed mini cards as evenly as possible amongst each location with a non-weakness Geist enemy. We have a lot of -4s here. Oofed. -1 if you're at a location with a Geist enemy, reveal an additional chaos token. Wow, these are hefty minuses in that bag. I need to. I figured out, like, usually when I'm playing Arkham, I put all of I have a little coffee table over here, like a fold-out table, TV tray, that I put all of my resources and everything on. But I was like, that's where I put my cards. And now that I'm like, I need the cards close at hand, I was just like, I'm just going to put the lid on it. So there we go. We got our cool card holders from Jason. I think we're off to the races. We have to shuffle these. No idea what the charges over here are. I know that the skull is -X, where X is half the number of charges. So that seems bad. I'm excited to play with all of our new toys. I'm not going to upgrade just because... Yeah. I'm not going to upgrade. I had 2 experience, but that 2 experience can turn into like 2 level 5 shrivelings with Jim next scenario. After I do this, because it's down the rabbit hole. So it's probably not worth doing that now. Jack, I don't know. We'll see what we end up with experience wise. But yeah. Also, I meant to look at. Can you only have 1 key? I assume you can only have 1 key. Yeah, at the start of each scenario, each investigator is the bearer of 1 or more keys, attaches those keys to their investigator. So we get both of them. Dumb question, but have you ever drawn a skull with Jim and just laugh at the chaos bag? Not really. No, I really have not. Like I have not drawn like mini skulls at all, which is tough because like I don't think Jim is a good investigator. He's been fun. But I think I have enjoyed the deck build of Jim with like the customizable cards more than I've actually just enjoyed Jim as a deck builder. Jack has been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed Jack. But like I usually find myself passing on his trumpet, like his signature card. I don't think I've ever really used his ability. There may be like specific scenarios where that is applicable, but yeah. Jim has not been one of my favorite ones to play. Jack's been fun though. Yeah, we're at 27 time, which is crazy. Ew. Skulls are basically autofills in this scenario, so Jim should be awesome. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. That'd be pretty sick. Okay. So we get 6 cards in our opening hand. So we got 2, 4, 6. We can resolve mulligans at this point. Got a magnifying glass. Got a deduction. We got a nimble, a eureka, and a deduction. Alrighty, that's a lot of skill cards for saying that I didn't have a ton of skill cards. Let's keep 1 deduction. Let's keep 1 eureka. Let's go ahead and mulligan the other 3. Yeah. Got Electric Christopher. Let's go. 4. Pathfinder. Let's go. And our fieldwork and Trusty Bullwhip. Yeah. Let's go. That was awesome. Jim starting with 7 resources because we smuggled some other stuff with Jack last time. We smuggled 4 resources. Jim starts with 5. We'll shuffle all of that back in. Alrighty, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Let's see what Jim's got. Upsy Daisy. I did not. Upsy Daisy. Is that it? That's awesome. Got Clairvoyance. We've got Alchemical Transmutation, Unexpected Courage, Paradimensional Understanding, Guts, Arcane Initiate, and Unexpected Courage. Thinking we take Clairvoyance, Arcane Initiate, Guts, and an Unexpected Courage. Arcane Initiate. Yeah, we'll keep Arcane Initiate. Sadly, no, it's just a dumb reference to a magic. Oh, nice. Another Arcane Initiate and a Holy Rosary. Yikes. Okay. Got 2, 4, 6. And here we are. Okay. That was a lot of setup, team. This is why I did. Do well in school. Okay. The club has 2 clues. Each investigator at the club does not collect resources during the upkeep phase. That's awesome. Shroud of 2, spend 2 resources to parlay. You enjoy a pleasant meal and drinks. Heal 1 damage and 1 horror from each investigator or ally at your location. That's nice. That's nice right there. Alrighty. So we have the last blossom that can do that. Heal 1 damage, 1 horror. But we might as well just do the action over here. We want to have... Well, that's a lot of money. I think I would rather actually just use my blossom. Shift that. Hey, Nathan, how you doing? When are we getting a daily stream of 8 hours from you? I did one. It was a couple months ago. It was a lot. It was a lot. But a daily stream of 8 hours, like every day, probably not any time. I could do another 8-hour stream. They were fun. It was a lot, but it was fun. This has 2 clues, which is how many clues we need. So I think maybe one more resource over here. Let's have Jack go first. We can get the clues here, and then Jim can maybe go try and find her. Okay. So let's have Jack go first. We're gonna shift the last blossom, so we're gonna heal one from one damage and one horror from everyone. That's a fast action. We're gonna play magnifying glass as a fast action. We're gonna use one of our first action to play Dr. Christopher. We will search the club for our second action. We will use a deduction here. Yeah. So we are 8-2. And we've got a cultist -4, so we are good. We succeeded by whatever, so we get both of these clues. We get a money. Only 2 clues. See, deduction kind of wasted. Well, I mean, like we wouldn't have hit the. We would not have been able to. We didn't hit the threshold to discover 3 clues, right? Because we went 4 to. Actually, we may have there. Yeah, we did. We just barely hit the. But it does save us an action, which is nice. I'm gonna spend 2 for the bullwhip, and we're gonna use. We'll hop over here to this station. We can resign. Nice. There's nothing we can do here. You hastily book passage out of the city. Investigators at this location may spend 1 investigator per clues as a group to heal 2 horror. Remember that you found a cheap memento. This is a victory. So this is a shroud of 4 and 2 clues. And that's Jack's turn. We're going to choose to gain a resource. Now, Jim's going to spend 2 to play a Holy Rosary. Jim's going to spend 4 to play Clairvoyance. We have to find the lady in the parasol before Doom hits. So let's go. That was 1-2. That probably wasn't a good idea. Let's not play the Rosary. So we have 2 actions left still. Because it's like I need to move and then search. You can advance the act right because you want to. When I have to, when you engage her, we have to spin the clues to advance. Yeah. So we have to find her, and then when she engages us, that's when we hit the triggering condition to spin the clues. So my second action is to move down here to here. And that has a shroud of 3 with 4 clues. Parlay test fist 4 to join the games. If you fail, remember that you embarrassed the consulate. If you succeed, gain 3 resources. We're not doing that. My eyesight and mind ain't what it used to be. Okay, so we will. We actually may just get these clues instead of going for the conceal card. For our last... Yeah, for our last action, do we want to advance the act? I don't know. I don't think we do. So let's actually just use this. We're going brain, which is 4, 5, 6 to 3. We're committing a guts. We're going to actually go Arcane Initiate as well. So we're going to go 7. And we've got a tablet, which is a -1. So we discover 2 clues. Okay, that was my third. No enemies. I don't think she does anything. No, yeah. So we go into our refresh phase. So we get a money. Jack is going to draw into a perception. Jim gets a money. And draws into a thing that follows. Spawn at the location furthest away. And it's going to be hunting us. Cool. Make sure you draw your card because you committed gut. Oh, thank you. Okay, so that's what that was. And then I got shriveling. Nice. Nice. Let's go. Shriveling is sick. Okay. Top of the round, we're gonna add a doom. Jack's card is Test Brain 3. For each punch you fail by, take 1 horde. That is not good. So we're 1 to 3. I don't have the ability to pull anything back or to spend money. So 1 to 3. We've got, oh my gosh, +1. No, we failed still. Oh, okay. Well, we take 1 whore. Bummer. Jim is a coterie enemy. Aloof patrol. Nearest location with a concealed mini card and no coterie. Oh, envoy. While it's ready, concealed mini cards at its location cannot be exposed. After you defeat coterie envoy, look at the revealed side of any concealed mini card in play. Cool. Alrighty. Let's go Jack again. Three health is so annoying. What is patrol? I read that. I was like, I cannot remove threat from the main scheme. I was like, that's not this game. Some enemies have the patrol keyword. During the enemy phase, each ready unengaged enemy with the patrol keyword moves to a connecting location along the shortest path. So it's like Hunter, but it has a different target. Cool. Okay. So I think I think this is the round to go after the lady. I'm thinking that maybe Jack comes over here, Jim comes up here because we can't reveal this conceal card and figure that out. That being said, let's just have Jack go first because Jim is kind of locked in or locked out of action. So let's move over here. I'm actually going to spend 2 to play field work. That's my first action. Now we're going to move over here. That's 2 clues. During your turn, you can pay 2 resources. Move to a connecting location. Limit once per turn. Discard an asset you control from play. Gain resources equal to half its discarded printed cost. Rounded down. Remember that you traded for a kitten. I kind of want a kitten. Shroud of 3. 2 clues. No victory point. Boo. We'll exhaust field work as a reaction here to get +2 skill, or +2 to the next test. And then we will investigate the concealed card. So we are at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 3. We've got a 0. We'll reveal the concealed card. It is her. Sweet. So she comes and engages me, and we will spin the 2 clues to advance. After what feels like hours of searching, you catch the trail of the lady with the red parasol. You follow her down a narrow side street to the worn facade of an old shop, which she steps inside. Uncertain of the risk she might pose, you wait for her to emerge rather than follow her into a potential trap. However, after some time passes, you grow impatient and step into the shop. Sounds like me. Put the set-aside shop location into play and reveal it. Disengage each investigator from each enemy engaged with them and move each investigator to the shop. Where did I put them? There they are. This is connected to the station here. Read the scenario interlude. Okay, so we disengage here. All of these concealed cards go away because there's nobody in the shadows anymore. So she is stuck here. We get moved here. Investigators at the shop can spend 1 investigator per clue as a group. Remember that you peered beyond. Look at the revealed side of a concealed mini card or the other side of a Geist enemy in play. So we just randomly get moved up here. And we have to read the interlude. Oh shoot, this is one-way connected. So this is, wait. No, I'm sorry, this is over here. I got those mixed up. If you're investigating in past, oh, he did. Ooh, yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah. So I investigated. It's instead of discovering clues. And read the interlude. Before you even step inside the shop, you are greeted by the intense but pleasant fragrance of dried flowers and herbs that hang in the bundles of the low ceiling. The scent is intoxicating, and your eyes adjust to the dimly lit interior. A small, middle aged Malay woman with an ornate dress rises from her stool in the corner to greet you. You're a bit late, but I suppose it's better than if you had arrived early, she said matter of factly. You ask her what she means, and she shakes her head. I am Milady. Our meeting was foretold. She explains that in a Bamo, a shaman, and that she was forewarned of your meeting by the spirits. You ask her about the woman with the red parasol. Yes, that's why I was glad you didn't arrive early, she grimaces, and then lights a bundle of some aromatic herbs. You feel a tingling lightheadedness wash over you, followed by a soothing calm. She goes on, that was Suzanne Knighton. She's the reason I have to cleanse my shop. There's a foul essence that follows her, perhaps why she masks her unclean spirits with a veneer of politeness. As she speaks, a cloud of vague confusion passes over her. She cannot place something, and you ask her what she wanted. I truly cannot remember what she asked of me. Read only if an investigator is a sorcerer or clairvoyant trait. I really want to hit one of these. I have not yet, but The Bomo recites a low, mumbling chant as she completes the cleansing ritual, then holds one hand to her temple. Her brow furrows as she falls to her knees, racked with pain. You move to help her, and she holds one hand out, setting herself against a low wooden table, and then slides to sit. She gestures for you to sit across from her. Now I understand why they told me you were coming, she smiles bravely. The deep lines in her face fold with the shadows in the dim shop. The Bomo pours you a cup of hot, steaming tea. The spirits are restless. Something has stirred up a deep well of pain as the city reforms itself to keep with such change. People coming and going, and in all of it, I sense a dark aura, a cloud of misfortune. And at the center of it, the lady with the red parasol. She is the harbinger of sorts, inflicting pain and misery even as she reaps the rewards of the great industry. I wish the game did more with investigator traits. Those little bonuses are cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, Her voice is firm and clear, even as her hands shake, holding her teacup. You sip the rich, earthy brew as you consider the situation. Suzang Nine has some greater design at work, but what? You ask her if the spirits have told her anything. She shakes her head. I sense only their great pain, and their great pain is linked in some way to the lady with the red parasol. It's almost as if she feeds on it, devours it. Flint rejoined the cell. Go to 2. She doubles over again, clutching one hand to her chest. You move to help her as Inspector Flint produces a small medkit to administer emergency aid. She shakes her head. Do not worry for me. I am stronger than any spirits, though I feel they are in such deep, awful pain. The city is rife with sorrow, she sighs and cites herself. As I said before, our meeting was not by chance. Perhaps if we can speak with the spirits and put them to rest, we can understand her greater aims and perhaps thwart them. Can you help me? Flint looks to you, and she smiles. We'll help you get to the bottom of this. Skip to 4. Whew. There's more reading in the middle of these scenarios than there are to lead into the other campaign scenarios. um, Before you leave her shop, she tells you 3 epicenters of spiritual disturbances in the city. Put the Teen Mine and Waylay Cult Theater locations into play. Okay. Find the 3 set aside Geist enemies and spawn them as follows. Spawn the slain foreman at the station. Spawn uncanny shadows at the theater. And then I guess this goes. I guess the buried miner goes to the mine. That seems reasonable. Return lady with the repair soul to the shadows and resolve her conceal keyword. Okay. Running out of room. we're just gonna we're gonna get cozy here. Actually, we have all of this room over here. Slide. We're just gonna slide everything. Okay. So Parasol's going back up here. We're resolving her keyword. Oh, yeah, okay. Each of the concealed mini cards with Geist enemies. Okay. Remove all Doom from each card in play other than her. If it's Agenda 1A, advance directly to Agenda 2A. Do not resolve 1B. The restless dead. The sense that you are not alone grows, and the spirit's wordless screams fill your mind. Great. An oily fog rolls to choke the streets of Kuala Lumpur in a ghostly aura. After you engage Suzang 9, investigators at your location must spend one clue as a group. If they cannot, draw the cop card to the encounter deck instead. Hence, when this agenda advances, she will harvest a nearby spirit if her location is unknown. No idea what that means. Probably bad, though. Okay. 2A. Ghostlight. She's Milady spoke of great suffering Suzang 9 has brought to the city. Perhaps by entering or entreating the spirits and laying them to rest, you can stop her from repeating the pain she has sown. Geist enemies cannot leave haunted locations. Objective: quell the restless spirits before they consumed by Suzang 9. At the end of each round, if there are no non-weakness Geist enemies in play, advance. Cool. Alrighty. Alrighty. Okay, so sweet. Now, well, we have this thing that we have to deal with at some point. I think we played, moved, did. So Jack's out of options. We're gonna grab a card. Paradimensional understanding. Great. You must either flip each stable key you control to its unstable side or immediately shift an unstable key you control. So I think we have to immediately flip this because we cannot shift this because we can't heal anything. Each investigator takes 1 direct damage. Cool. Awesome. Then Jim has 3 actions. We need to save these. Buried Miner gets +1 investigator per health. As an action, take 1 to 3 horror parlay. Test Fist 6. Reduce the difficulty of this test for 1 by each horror you took as part of this action cost. If you succeed, flip this card and resolve its text on the other side. When Buried Miner would be defeated, flip it over and resolve its text. Okay. So discard an asset you control. Test book 6. Reduce the difficulty by the printed cost of the asset. If you succeed, flip it over. And then here we've got test brain 6. Discard 1 to 3 cards from your hand at random, just like that. Test brain 6. Reduce the difficulty for each card you discarded. Or we can attack them. Okay, cool. So I'm thinking that we need to find. Do we rush finding or helping these spirits, or do we rush trying to find her and take her out? I don't like any of those options. We have to kill the thing that follows at some point. Jim's kind of stuck here. So I think Jim's turn actually looks like moving, attacking, and having that be a thing. So let's spend 3 to play Shriveling. Comes in with 4. That's 1 action. You could just buy a train ticket out of here. That is true. We've definitely could do that. We're going to spend a action to move over here. The thing that follows is going to engage us, and then we will attack it with Shriveling. So we are attacking. We get 6 to 3. I don't love it. But here we are. That's why I don't love it. -4. If you fail by 2 or more, place 1 charge. Okay, we didn't. That's too bad. That's too bad. Okay. So the thing that follows is now here, and we just blew a charge on shriveling. Yeah, yikes. Okay. Uh, monster phase. This guy is going to patrol here. The thing that follows, nothing else has hunter. The thing that follows is going to hit us. We'll just throw it on Inspector Flint. And we're good. So we will go into our refresh phase. It also is kind of crazy. The symbol has an effect for shriveling. Oh, shoot, you're right. Take one horror. Thanks. Stinks. Ouch. Just make sure you take a horror. Yeah. Yeah. Gross. We're going to give that to Flint as well. No, we're not. We're not. Yeah, we are. Why not? Okay. Get a resource. We've drawn 2 of our weakness cards already. There's our fingerprint kit. Then Jim gets a resource. And he gets emergency cash. Spells are going to be rough with this chaos. Yeah. Yeah. It's like looking at it again. I mean, like, I think a guardian would be really strong in this campaign. Just like straight up damage. Just like high damage. But I do think Jack's doing well. I think Jack's doing fine. Okay. Top of the round, we're going to place a Doom. Jack's card is going to be Touch of the Beyond. Place 1 Doom on the asset you control with the highest printed resource cost. Okay. Cool. Then Jim is place 1 charge on the Shade Reaper. Test Brain 3 or 6 instead if there are 8 or more charges on the Shade Reaper. Jeez. If you fail, you must either discard 1 card from your hand for each point you fail by or take 2 damage. So we place a charge. We test Brain 3. We have Brain 4. We have to go Unexpected Courage here. We'll go Brain 6. Also, just having a base brain or your main stat as not 5 is rough in this campaign. There's so many high tests. Okay, we're going with 6 to 3. Tablet is -1. If you're at a location with a Geist enemy, we are not. Okay, so we're good. Okay. Okay, what is Jack doing? Jack is getting 2 locations away, so I think we're either going to go up here or down here. Gotta go fast, Jack. Right? So this is Test Brain. That's definitely not going to be Jack. I mean, we could sit here and try and kill them. That just seems like a lot. Um, we also need to find her. She's going to devour someone. Oh my goodness. I may go 1-2 and discard Dr. Christopher, which is very sad. But the reason I may do that is because this Doom, it buys us another round. And then we test parlay at book 2 and we're at 4. And we have a perception, which we would probably use. I think I'm going to do that. It's sad to see Dr. Christopher go, but it buys us a whole round and it gets this really, really low. So let's go 1-2 and we will exhaust field work. So we get a +2 skill value for the next skill test we perform this phase. That's 2 actions. We're going to take the parlay action here. Test book 6. Or discard an asset you control. We'll discard Dr. Christopher. Bye, Dr. Christopher. Parlay test book 6. Reduce the difficulty of this test by the printed cost of the asset. So, as part of the action cost, if you succeed, flip this card over. So we are doing a parlay of 2, book 2. We have 6, so it's 6-2. I mean, that's good. 6-2 is good. -2, we are good, so we'll flip this over. As Milady entreats the spirit, it turns its head as if it hears something you cannot. The Bombo pulls you aside, a gentle smile upon her face. As searching for something, she explains, something that reminds it of home. If investigator is traded for a kitten, we have not. Read the following. Otherwise, flip this card back to its enemy side. Heal all damage and disengage. No. We have to trade for a kitten? Well, that's a little frustrating. That's a little frustrating. I don't think I like that at all. Okay, here we are. So that was my 3 actions. I get a card and a money. Okay. My card is a slip away. Cool. It is now Jim's turn. We have the thing that follows engaged with us. I think we have to attack it. So let's go ahead and use a shriveling. So we're fighting at 6-3. You know what? Actually, before we do the shriveling, we're going to play Holy Rosary. This will trigger an attack of opportunity. We're going to throw 1 here and the mental on Holy Rosary. Actually, I don't know if we can do that. We're going to, because I think it's at the initiation of the attack, the action. So we take 1 horror here. Now we are going to shrivel for a second action. I'm salty about that. Just lost Dr. Christopher. To go trade for a kitten. Okay. So we're 7-3 -1. We kill the thing that follows. We shuffle it back into our deck. That was their second action. And I guess Jim is going to go over to the shop so that he can trade for a kitten. Okay. Enemies. This thing is attacking me, so we'll take 1 and 1. That hurts. That hurts a lot. We're at 3 sanity on Jack, so we're about to go insane over here. Oof. Okay. Jim, or we'll draw a card. Unexpected Courage. We do have 5 cards now. Get a money. Jim is going to draw a card. Paradimensional Understanding. So we have to shift this to its unstable side. Not good. Not good. And a resource. We've drawn so many weaknesses. Ugh. I guess 3. Okay. Top of the round, we're gonna add our second Doom. Don't worry, Dr. Christopher is dead. um, and Jack will draw a card. Frozen in Fear. First time you perform move, fight, or evade, it costs 1 additional action. At the end of your turn, test Brain 3. Nice. That's great for Jack. And then we've got Jim drawing a card, which is Seeing Shadows. After you fail a skill test while at a location with a concealed mini card, take 1 horror. 2 actions to discard that card. Okay. I guess we'll have Jim go first. Frozen in Fear, as other players call it, the Rogue Killer. Yeah, right? Ugh. I'll have Jim go first. We'll trade for a kitten. I guess we'll look at this one. These are all different. Oh, geez. Well, I'm glad I looked at them. Okay. So this one is if an investigator has found a cheap memento. So find a cheap memento. Oh, this is Peered into Beyond. This is the kitten. Oops. Okay, I got those mixed up. But we peered into the Beyond, so I assume that may be this one. Seems like Jack is the one to draw Frozen Fear all campaign. He has though. So that's 1. We'll go 2. And we will discard an asset you control from play. Does Jim have Ward of Protection? He does, not in his hand though. We're gonna discard Clairvoyance. So we get 2 money and we have a kitten now. That's our 3rd. Okay. So Jack's turn. I think we're gonna try this thing again. But I don't really want to discard. I have to actually. It is a requirement of the action. So I think I discard field work, or I could just spend years because of Frozen and Fear. So I don't want to do that. I think I discard field work, which is not great. We're gonna discard field work and parlay with this thing. So test book 4. We are at 4. We're gonna commit Perception 5/6. Six to 4 is not good right now. Or we could spend 2 resources instead of Perception because we have the 5. I guess we could go Perception. This is a quick action to pull this back. Yeah, okay. So we have 5 cards. So we're going 6, 7, 8. 8 to 4. Right where we want it to be. 8 to 4. It's a tablet, which is -1. We are where the Geist enemy is. So we will remove another one. We fail. We fail. Oofed. Okay, that's one that's 1 action. I can't keep doing that. I can't keep doing that action because you can't scoot the mag glass because they're there are. Okay, so we very 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 much fail then. I guess we'll get our resource back because we could not use it for higher education. Actually, what we would have done? No, okay. Oh, and then we did fail by 2 or more. We place 1 charge. Okay. Um. I I'm not 100% sure what we do here. I guess we evade this guy. Um. Yeah. Okay. We will evade, or we'll. I guess yeah. We'll evade him. So we will go. Or we could. No, we're gonna evade him. We're gonna evade him. So we're 5 to 2. -4, so we fail. Okay. Jeez, that chaos bag is brutal. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, cool. So enemy phase, we get hit here. Jack's about to die. Oh, I need to test Frozen in Fear. So brain 3. Auto fail. Sounds about right. So Frozen in Fear is still hanging out there. Okay. Yep, so we get hit there. 1-1. And we'll get a resource and draw a card. Pathfinder. Okay. Jim gets a resource and draws Storm of Spirits. Okay. Then we'll place a 3rd here. If she's in play at any location, if she's in the shadows, reveal all concealed mini cards and set each decoy aside out of play. Swap the enemy with their concealed mini card. Place each non-weakness Geist enemy at her location face down beneath her and place 4 charges on the Shade Reap. Jeez. Okay. So 4 charges. There's 2, 4. So it's 3, 6, 9, 12. So now the skulls are -6. If there are no non-weakness Geist enemies in play, advance to B. Otherwise, return her to the shadows and resolve her concealed mini card. Distributing conceals it evenly among each location. Okay. No, we're going here because of that guy. Okay. Jackson counter card. In plain sight. Attached to an enemy in the shadows without a copy of in plain sight. After you expose the attached enemy, that enemy attacks you and gets +2 fight until the end of the round. Oh, jeez. Then Jim. This surges. The Cottering Envoy. Place nearest location with the concealed mini card. And no envoy. So, cool. Up there. Another question: was there a scenario you played this campaign that actually went fine? Not great, just fine. Last scenario went fine. I yeah, like I'm not. It feels like this campaign punishes blind plays, which is what it is. I think. I really enjoy blind plays, but it feels like you would do just significantly better if you knew what was coming. Which I don't think I like that. Just because I don't want to spend the necessarily all that time out of game studying it. This is not like I do that for the other games. This is a game I experience for the story, but it just feels like we just got railed on just by not understanding this mechanic because we haven't played this scenario before. Um and it just feels like a lot of those blind decisions of just kind of wandering aimlessly around. We just kind of stumbled into really difficult situation or scenarios for the time that we were playing. Like I really like the idea of the campaign. I'm just not 100% sure I like the execution of it. Because every single time except for the first scenario, which was fine, and then the last scenario that we played, the Dancing Mad, has just I've just felt like I've been drowning the entire game. May I interest you in a scoop of ice cream? I think this campaign is just notably more difficult than anything else in the repackaged format. Really, I that's the other thing is that the tests have been insane. The tests have been really high. Like our lowest shroud value right now is 2, I guess 2. But like anything that you want to investigate feels like it's like a 4 or a 5, and then your bag is -3 on average. And so it's like everything you need to be investigating is like a 5, and it really has not helped that I picked an investigator with a 4. But this scenario in particular is ridiculous, really. That is too bad. Um I mean, like, but like the thing is like Jim, we if Jim had a 5, or if I had picked an investigator with a 5, then I think we would have been just in a significantly different spot. Um, Also, not having a high brain in this campaign has been absolutely detrimental. It's been very very bad. I need to figure out how to. I need to figure out how to heal Jack over here, right? Yeah, we can spend 2 resources to heal 1 damage and 1 horror. Okay. I I'm not sure what. Okay. So I don't think it's just Jim. You probably needed a specialist more than a flex spellcaster to balance out Jack's clue finding. Maybe, yeah, shriveling plus Azure, and he has shriveling and Azure Flame in there, and like this, I think the power word and the living ink are really cool. I just don't think that they are fast enough for this scenario or for this campaign. Like power word is really cool. I really like power word. I like the customizable cards. I'll probably run whatever customizable stuff through the next campaign. I think I'm probably going to go back to Carcosa. Um, but I need to figure out what I'm doing here. I think, honestly, I think that what we may do here is we may need Jack to resign. Because I mean, he's at 2 health, and we need ways to heal him. I can't have him take a third trauma, because he would be starting at 3 sanity every turn. Um, okay, so I could parlay here, or parlay here. I get rid of my bullwhip at this point. I don't know. That's so tough. That's so tough. And we're testing 4 to 4, and we can spend our way to oblivion. We lose our bullwhip, but I mean, like, we have other ways to evade, and I think we just evade our way out. 4 willpower is not great, particularly with a very limited passive ability. Yeah, Jim like I don't really know much about the power level of different investigators in Arkham Horror. Like I haven't looked that much into it. Arkham Horror is a game that I'm not. I'm enjoying more than I am metagaming and power building for. I'm just kind of having fun with it. That being said, out of everybody that I've played, Jim feels like a very clear worst investigator that I've played. Like he just he just doesn't feel like he is. And maybe that is campaign specific. Maybe there's a campaign that adds 900 skulls to the bag, and Jim's an OP monster there. But Jim just hasn't really been doing it for me. I don't think I've really enjoyed him that much. He's very vanilla, right? He's a mystic with low. Virtually every expert of the game I trust do not like. Cool, yeah, that's fair. I did have one of my friends tell me that like Jim's probably not a good choice after I had chosen him. I was like, we're just gonna see, and should have listened. um, okay, let's parlay here with the trusty bullwhip. So we're 4 to 4. We'll spend +2 or +4. So we are 8 to 4. We're gonna go 10 to 4, just because we have -6s in there now. 10 to 4. 0, of course. Okay, so we have rescued the kitten and all of that good stuff. So add this card to the victor display. She gestures you to hold the kitten out to the spirit. This one has 2 daughters and many cats, she says. They simply want to know that their loved ones are cared for. The spirit reaches out and strokes the kitten's fur with a glimmering spectral hand. After speaking rapidly, she looks to you. Bringing this animal to the family of the departed would comfort them, but I've told the spirit I will bring it as a gift soon. When you look back, the spirit has vanished. So we get a victory point, and we add this to the victory display. The other thing is like I feel like this scenario in particular really doesn't scale with number of players. Or like 4 players would have a significantly easier time with this scenario than 2, just because of how many things you have to do. You have to like, yeah, there's just more options for everybody. Which like I mean that may be balanced out by the encounter deck. So that was 1. One was parlay. 2, 3 actually, because Frozen in Fear. So that's 3. We will grab a money. And we're gonna test brain 3. -1. We fail. Surprise. Okay, Jim over here. I'm thinking about coming up here and Storm of Spirit and just deal damage to everybody, which reveals the concealed cards, starts to chip away at the Coterie enemy. But then I'm sitting at these 2 engaged with me, which that's not too bad. Actually, the Coterie enemy is aloof. It's not going to engage me. Yeah, I think I'm going to go up there, Storm of Spirits, call it a day. See what we reveal. Oh, we don't have clues though. We need clues whenever she gets exposed. This is a brain 6. We have the ability to do that, but we don't know what she needs because we didn't look at her. Because this one is the one that got eaten. So we need clues for the shop. So I think we just have to kill this thing. We just have to kill the shadow. So if we move, No, because we have to do the other thing. Because even if we kill it, we flip it over and then we do. So do we guess? Oh shoot, we can spend. Oh, that was the cheap memento. So we can spend one clues, two clues to heal two horror. That would be really good for Jack, but the clues are not easy to come by right now. Um. Hmm. So I'm wondering if this is. Do you embarrass the consulate? This is remember that you fail. This is found a kitten. So we know that those two. So can we just metagame this a little bit and see if we can come over here and hopefully embarrass the consulate. And that's what the uncanny shadow needs to do. I think so. I think that's what we're probably going to be doing. Um Also, Jim not drawing a power word or living ink is very sad, just because that's kind of what I built it around. Okay, I just need to make a decision here. Um, we'll have had Jack come down here instead. Then we will. I think at this point we're just gonna roll the dice and hope that it. We need to embarrass ourselves. Yeah. Okay. So Jim, I think, comes up here. Storm of Spirits hits everyone, deals 2 damage to everybody. Opens these concealed cards. Ideally, they are not the Red Lady, and we get to draw. We get to draw one card from Inspector Flint. Okay, we'll use one action to go up here. She's going to engage us. We have to go here. X is equal to half the charges on the Shade of the Reaper rounded up to a max of 8. Okay, so investigators here can spend one clue per as a group to heal 2 damage. Remember that you shared a deep pain. I'm guessing that's probably it more than this. So this is 6, a shroud of 6. Insane. Insane. Okay. Um so we will test Storm of Spirits. We're going to use 3 resources to test Storm of Spirits on attack. So we are going 4, 5 to 3. See, that's just awful. That's just not good for us. Um we could go 5 to 2 if we engage the envoy. I'm just used to having very few enemies on the board in your playthroughs. This just shows how the game has changed. There's so many things to do. Uh, um, I think we have to go for it. Right, we're sitting at a 5 to 3, and we can do Arcane Initiate for 6 to 3. We probably fail. Honestly, we probably fail. So I don't know if we even do that. But I did reveal it, so I can't take it back now. But I can take back what action I'm doing. And go shriveling. Eh, gross. Let's try it. Yep, we're gonna go here. We're gonna commit Arcane Initiate. So we are looking at a 6 to a 3. And a very expensive miss if we don't get it. And we've got a +1. Let's go. Okay, so we succeed there. That was way too risky. I am not a fan of what I just did there. We're going to reveal this. It's a decoy, so we are going to exhaust Expector Flint to turn it back down and draw a card, which is Granny. And our next one is another decoy. Alrighty. So we know here is the lady, so she's not going to attack anything. I don't think. That was just not a smart move on my part at all. Because if we had failed, this would have gone off. We would have been attacked. Not. We got very, very lucky with what we just did. We got one action left. We're gonna shrivel here. So we are going to attack for a brain of 7 to 3. Do I have any skulls in here? Yeah, I do. 7 to 3, -1. So that's going to deal 2 damage. Setting her up for something. That's our last. So enemy phase. We've got 1 here. So we're going to take 1 sanity and 1 damage. Oh, nope. Doesn't do anything. Doesn't do anything. Oh! Concealed mini cards cannot be exposed. I'm just going to shuffle these up. Because I heard that FFG might make an Arkham horror game, but for kids. But in the Elder Sign is replaced with its kids version, the Junior Sign. I thought you were serious there for a second. I was like, that is a very bold theme for children. I like it. The reason I just shuffled that up is I was not able to reveal, so we'll just shuffle these. Okay. I think that's all the enemy stuff. So we'll go into refresh. So we unexhaust. We get a money and a card. Hiking boots. Jim gets a Azure Flame and a money. Place of Doom. Jack has got Peril. Either choose each investigator takes 1 damage and 1 horror, or she shifts the Shade Reaper and places 2 charges on it. Seems very bad. Each investigator loses 1 action. I think I have to do that. I honestly think I have to do that. I have to shift it and everyone loses an action. But I mean, Jack is sitting here at 1 sanity. What we could do is we could take the sanity, ideally get these 2 clues, come up here and spin the 2 clues to heal 2 horror. Ugh. No. Everyone's going to take 1 damage and 1 horror. And we're going to make our way over here to the resign action. I actually think we may resign here. Just because we are not. Jim has got put compulsion into play in your threat area. When your turn begins, reveal a random chaos token from the chaos bag. If it's a symbol, the first action you perform during this turn must be below 2 actions to discard compulsion. Okay. Okay. So I'm thinking that I think we resign. I think we resign here. I don't think I don't have enough time or enough health, and it's not worth taking another sanity or another action here to or prolonging my actions to protect this. So what we may do, we can get a resource. We can play fingerprint kit. We may be able to prolong it enough to get these clues. And maybe these clues. So let's use an action to get a resource, use an action to play fingerprint kit. Comes in with 3 supplies. And we'll investigate here. We'll investigate for our third action. So we are investigating for 5, 7 to 3. Okay, so -4, we're good. We discovered 2 additional clues. So that's another victory point. And those are my 3 actions. For Jack, Jim over here. What is Jim doing? I actually do not know. I think Jim leaves. This has 2 clues on it, I guess. I think Jim leaves. I think Jim sets up to resign as well. I actually don't know how this works because it says that Geist enemies cannot leave haunted locations. So these are haunted. Does that mean if I move out, it stays, or I cannot move out because I'm engaged with it? I'm going to say that it attacks and stays. That's what I'm going to say happens because I don't know what else. I don't really know. Okay, so we have to choose compulsion, reveal a random token. It is a cultist, so we have to spend our first 2 actions to discard this. Okay, so we're down to 1 action. We're going to move. We're going to just say that she attacks me. We'll place 1 on the Holy Rosary. And she stays here. I'm not 100% sure if that's exactly how it's supposed to work, but here we are. That's my third action. Okay. So, enemies, nothing happening. I never did Frozen in Fear. So, we're testing 1 to 3. Part of me wants to just like commit Unexpected Courage, Eureka, all that good stuff, but nah. 1 to 3, -2. We fail. Enemies aren't doing anything, so we will go to the refresh phase. Also, we drew a card. Azure Flame is what we will have drawn from Inspector Flint. Jack is going to get a Embezzled Treasure. Not worth. And a money. Jim is... Oh, and I ended 1 away, so I guess I will get a money. Jim is going to get a Living Ink. Hey, look at that. That's... I also think she attacks and stays. Cool. Okay, good. And a money. Top of the round, we're going to add a Doom. Jack has got Bound in Red. If there are no Coterie enemies in play, Bound in Red gains Surge. Otherwise, attach to a Coterie enemy with the highest printed health. I don't even know what it does. It gets +1 fight, +1 evade, +1 damage, and +1 horror. Flip a stable key you control to its unstable side, then discard Bound in Red, and any investigator at any location made is okay. Not gonna worry about that. We're just gonna peace. Hey, another one. Cool. Oh, I guess these are Coterie enemies as well, but it is with the highest health. Oh, geez. Okay. Okay. So we have the option to risk one more round to go up here for two actions because of Frozen in Fear, investigate for the fingerprint kit for the third action. That is worth a victory point. If we do that, awesome. If we don't, we can just resign, play it a little bit safer, not think about this trauma. I think we risk it. We're right here at the end. I think we risk it. Um, so let's go 1-2. We are going. Um, we're gonna use fingerprint kit. So we're at 5-7 to 4. We don't need money. So 9 to 4, 11 to 4. That protects us against the skull. Risk it. No biscuit without the risk it. I think that's right. I think that's the right. Okay, so 11. We are not at a Geist enemy, so just -1. So we got the 2, and we got the victory point. Also, the victory points seem to, well, actually no, that's not necessarily fair to say. I was gonna say the victory points feel like it's been very back end of the campaign heavy. That's not necessarily true. That's just how I have come across the victory points, just because I've been fumbling my way around. So cool. Okay, so that's there. Jim. Oh wait, let's test brain. -2. No good. So Jim, that doesn't have a victory point. Yo, I want those action dials. Hey D20, how's it going? They're really nice. I like them a lot. They're by the same token. They have not helped me in my strategic play though. I will say that. D20 as a spectator? Ah. Jason, what did you think about this campaign? I'm curious to hear what you thought about this campaign. Every now and again, I am here. Hey, Pain Strip, sorry I missed that you followed. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Okay. Jim is just gonna hop over here for one action. And I thought it was better than Edge of the Earth, but I don't want to read this much, and it's a little too open-ended. Yeah. 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 What we've been talking about is that it just is absolutely horrendous for a first play. Oh yeah. 30 minutes I think is actually an under exaggeration because the last two streams I've actually kept up with it. We did not start playing until after the hour mark. And like this time I was trying to make a conscious effort to like move ourselves along through like the prologue of the scenario, and it was like I read 4 encounters or something and like it just was like okay. Like it was I think an hour and 10 is when we started setting up the campaign. Or maybe started the game. It's a lot. It's a lot of time. Not first game through, friendly. They need to go back to basics. And I like what I said this earlier. I like the idea of the campaign more than I like the execution of it. We're gonna give Living Ink over here to Jack. He gets +1 to his skills. This is why old campaigns are good. Yeah, I'm really excited to go back to Carcosa. That'll be fun. Um, we'll spend 3 to play Azure Flame. Also, the one feature I really like from this is being able the mini card system. I thought, yeah, no, yeah, definitely the concealed stuff. That's really interesting. I like all the ideas around it. It's just it's also I think a better campaign to play than it is to stream. I think I think there's just a lot going on and a lot of story that streaming it is not maybe the best format to play it in. Um, alrighty, so that's it. We got no enemies that are doing anything. We've got they need to make stream. Yeah, exactly. A streamer friendly campaign. That's not exactly what I meant, but but yes, they do. Uh, okay, so we've got we're good. Well, unexhaust will get money. Jack's gonna draw a manual dexterity. Get a resource. So Jack is gonna get a resource as well from not being at the same spot. Jim is gonna draw into Jim's trumpet, the most OP card in the game. Get a resource. And top of the round, we are going to progress. Oh, yeah, we're about to advance, actually. Remember when reading took like 5 minutes? Yeah, 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 yep. Like, Jason, I was making the joke. I don't know actually when you joined, but like we read an interlude that was longer than a lot of the intros to like the older campaigns. It was like a page and a half interlude, or like a column and a half interlude. Reveal all concealed mini cards and play and set each decoy to side out of play. Concealed mini card is decoy, decoy, decoy. Swap the enemy with the concealed. Place each non-weakness Geist enemy at our location under. Then place 4 charges on the Shade Reaper. There are no non-weakness Geist enemies in play. Advance to Act 2B. She smiles sweetly as she bears down on you. Behind her, a massive shadow moves of its own accord, writhing its in full might patterns as she on the wall. This will be quick, she coos. Each Geist enemy gains Hunter and Retaliate and cannot be flipped over. When Doom is placed on this agenda, remove one Geist enemy from beneath her and swap it or and place it at her location. Okay. Just see if we don't die. Jack. Test Brain 3. For each point you fail by, take 1 horror. Oh no. Okay, we actually may be able to get ourselves out of this. We will commit Jim's trumpet. So right now because we played Living Ink, we are at 2. Jim's trumpet is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, Jack's sitting at 1 sanity. So we're going 11 to 3. -2. We're good. We're good. But he already has two trauma. So we pass. Sweet. And then Jim has got place 1 Doom on the asset you control. That's fine. We'll resign. Okay. Oh, jeez. Okay, so we resigned. If no resolution was reached, this is where we get in trouble. Overwhelmed, you flee Kuala Lumpur, whatever to sway Suzang 9 over. The city begins to infect your own mind as it intrudes into your dreams. The following nights, you wake up in a cold sweat, imagine yourself bowing before her, fixated on her mysterious red parasol. In idle moments, you catch yourself humming the soft, lidding song she sang as she followed you into Kuala Lumpur. You wonder if you will ever be able to truly leave her behind. Each investigator earns experience. Record you haven't seen the last. Mark 1 time, and she's the bear. Okay, that was actually way better than I was expecting it to be. I was expecting to take some horror or something, because we did not do anything to help the city. But we are at 28 time. She's the bearer of all that stuff, and we can embark. I think at this point, our next session is going to be the last game. I think we're going to end it on the next game, just because we only have 7 time remaining until we hit Omega, which either drives us insane or forces us into the end game. And Yeah. I don't actually know if I'm going to be able to stream next Friday. I need to check my schedule. So if you so just monitor Discord. I'll put up when we're going to actually get the stream done. Um and yeah. Whew. It's been rough. It's been a rough campaign. I really like the idea. I mean, I want to go play Dunwich again. Dunwich is like the comfort campaign. But yeah. Alrighty, so 8 victory points. Did I do that right? Did I count that right? It was 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. 8 victory points. We've already spent. I like to choose your own adventure, but there's a bit too much to choose. Yeah, and it feels like once you know the story, it could be really fun and you could like choose and figure out and follow the different storylines. But until like last session, I was just choosing things at random. I was like, okay, we'll go here and just see what happens. But with 7 time, you could probably fit another level in, but I understand if you just want to put Jack out of his misery. um, the problem with that is that I don't know where I would go for another level because I don't know. I could fumble around for 10 time and not find a single encounter. That because I just don't know where the encounters actually are located. Um, if we may take a roundabout path to get up there, and we could do that. Like maybe if we look at the top, we look at our map. We're here. We may go up to Bombay, and then like see what's going on in Bombay, and then so that'd be 1, 2, 3. That would put us at 31. If Bombay adds 2 time, we're fine. So that's probably what we will do because we already used our ticket. We already flew, so yeah, we'll figure that out. But yeah, so on Monday we'll be doing some Marvel Champion streams. Just monitor either wherever you're at. Got to get some reading in before the final encounter. Ain't that the truth? uh, it's a lot of reading. Um. Where was I? Yeah. So we're gonna be doing Marvel Champions on Monday. I think we're gonna be doing more hero spotlights. Well, we near the end. Yeah, right. I think we're gonna be doing some more hero spotlights, and on Monday, I don't actually know what hero that is yet. I have not checked that out yet. And then we'll be streaming Lord of the Rings on Wednesday, and maybe this on Thursday instead of Friday. But I'll keep you all updated on Discord or YouTube wherever you follow. And yeah, so that's gonna be that. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Hope you enjoy whatever games or whatever you are doing this weekend. And I will see you all on Monday. Peace.